Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. We have Talel Weisman with us today. He's CEO at Olmait. He's helping seeds to A-round startup build and scale remote development teams. He's enabling tech savvy businesses to create data in cloud-driven product. He's in Israel. I'm in Mexico. Today's going to be fun. We're going to talk about his background founding this company. It's been almost 7 years since he founded that one, but it's not his first company. This podcast is brought to you by bookwritegpt.com. If you want to take all your LinkedIn posts and write a wonderful Kindle book with it, you can go to bookwritegpt.com. Talel, welcome to the podcast. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Tell about myself. So I'm in Olmait for, as you said, around 7 years. Prior to that, so basically I studied economics and accounting, and I did an internship in BDO in the tech and global cluster. But I hated the corporate world and I hated accounting basically. So the day I finished, I left and without a clear plan on what to do next. So I checked a few directions. I considered having a startup or different type of business ventures, quite different from each other. And eventually I ended up starting Olmait in Georgia, the country, with local co-founders and with my father, who is in Israel as well. So I wanted to move to tech, and back then the Israeli tech ecosystem didn't need accountants or finance people at all, because they were all, either international R&D centers or early stage startups, not big enough to have a proper finance department. So they didn't need me basically. So I had to start a company, when I was kind of searching my way, I met a friend, a colleague from the military service. That's how Israelis know each other. They serve together in the army, and he gave me quite a good advice. Whatever you do it in tech. If you have even if you have a restaurant, put it where the tech companies are, because that's where the money is. That's where smart people are. That's the most dynamic area, and it's a good place for growth and for good businesses to grow. So that's what I did.
It's pretty cool. And why Georgia, and why found the company with your father?
Well, that's two good questions. Starting a business with your father has its pros and cons, I would say. And on the one hand, it's a good family therapy. And for me, as let's say a better, I don't know, it gives a better content to relationship than just meeting each other for dinners every couple of weeks and asking how are you doing. So actually doing something together has its advantages. Obviously, relationship of this kind always have its weight and complexities. I guess it's like that for everyone. So, but I think over the years we always enjoyed talking business. He's in business. He's in business. He works in business consulting for, I think, 2 decades. And for me, it was always interesting. And at the same time, I left BDO. He also left BDO. He was a senior partner in BDO. That's how I got there in the first place. So we were both free, and we considered having different businesses together, different kinds of collaborations, and eventually we ended up in Georgia, because part of his business consulting practice had to do with business activity in Georgia. He helped international M&As, due diligence processes in Georgia for different international companies So he had the network. He saw the opportunity of the basically R&D outsourcing market to emerge. Back in the days, it was just, it wasn't really there. I mean, we were one of the first outsourcing company, R&D outsourcing company operating from Georgia. So yeah, it was the hardship of starting early, right? But eventually it proved itself.
Do you employ Georgians?
Yeah. The company is a Georgian company. Our R&D center is in Tbilisi. We have 30 plus headcount. All of them are, Georgian,
Do
basically.
they have an edge, talent edge there? For example, when I hired probably 2,000 employees in the last 10 years for my companies. I used to hire in Serbia a lot. I love Serbia for Serbian workers are very good and cheap, right? So what edge did you found in Georgia? I found that their English wasn't too good, but as of late, I've seen like major tech advancement in that region of the world.
Yeah. So in Georgia, there is a very strong scientific background. I mean, people love mathematics and they love science. So I grew up with
USSR, right?
Yes, right, and they really have it in their blood. So that's one. The other thing is that they're really dedicated to their work. I mean, obviously, it's not true for all Georgians, but it is true for the people that I work with. They do their work wholeheartedly. And if you give them a good environment, they will give their best and do their best. And also culturally, so most of our clients are either Israeli or from the Middle East, from the United Arab Emirates, for example, or has something to do with some Mediterranean network around the world. So the cultural similarity helps a lot. I mean, they're very warm people, very open, very flexible. So it works. It works for me. And yeah, also there was the coincidence that Georgia, there was an opportunity in Georgia at that point of time where I was looking for something to do. So that's another reason why it happened like that, I guess.
And you told me R&D. R&D is pretty fun. It's must be pretty nice to do R&D for companies. Why did you choose that segment though? Because I believe it's for a bunch of companies they view this as a want and not a need, right? So can you explain why R&D itself, and is it something that's easy to sell nowadays? Outsourcing R&D, and also the privacy and the trademark factors, right? If you can tell us about that.
Right. So if it's easy to sell R&D outsourcing, I think it depends. I mean, the demand is very high. The demand for good service is high. It was higher before, but now it's still high. I mean, finding good vendors in this field is still not easy. But yeah, on the other hand, if you're familiar with this field, the competition is endless. There are countless companies with more or less the same. You can describe them very similarly to each other. So it's very hard to stand out. As I understand, this industry is based mostly on organic growth. At least now I'm trying to find non-organic ways to grow. It's not so easy, but organic growth works very well for us. And in several years, you can definitely see the fruits of that. It also feels more stable, more solid this way. That it's based on network, it's based on years of relationships, of connections, and trust that takes a long time to build. But once you build it and you're in the industry, then it stays.
Right. And tell me about your ideal customer persona. Like, who do you target normally? I see that you do AI services as well. Do you work with AI first companies or companies that have been, for example, in biotech and then introduced AI in the last couple of years with the AI wave?
So basically, the companies that work with us are either startups who are that want to outsource some part of their product. Let's say they know how to build software, but they don't know what to do with AI, for example, or with data science. Not in the let's say there are different things about it that they don't know how to do, and it's very easy for them to just give some other company to handle it. That's one client segment that we work with. Another segment is agencies in other fields, for example, business consulting, analysts, cybersecurity, etc., that are tech savvy. They want to build a product, they don't know how. Maybe they have some software development abilities to the extent that enable them to build, I don't know, a demo, an MVP, something small, something patchy, but serving their internal teams, and now they want to make it a product that they can sell, etc. And then they come to us. So the nice thing is, it's usually a long-term collaboration because it's a ongoing development efforts. So yeah, our point of contact in these companies are usually their tech leads. If they're proper tech companies, it would be their VP R&D usually, or director of engineering, sometimes team lead, sometimes CTO, depends.
Right. And tell me about your objective this year. Must be running on a roster of 10, 20 clients. Do you want to grow that to 30 this year?
Generally, yes. I mean, we have a nice growth rate of around 30 to 50% a year, which is, I guess, easier when you start from zero, but still, something to thank for, I guess. So yeah, if we can have another 50 years this year, yeah, I think that can work.
What does a day-to-day in your CEO life looks like?
I guess mostly solving problems that no one else managed to solve. So yeah, so that I also do much of the client relationship. I'm the point of contact for many of our clients. I guess it's pretty common in this industry and for our size of company. So the day-to-day, make sure that things are happening, help different team members to take decisions, and that's
How's it been
more or
to,
less
to
it, I
build a
guess.
company in Israel with everything that's happening right now?
So we're a very flexible business generally. Actually, this time in Israel was probably not related to the situation, but it was the best time for our company ever, generally.
Do you mean COVID or since COVID?
Let's say the last year and a half. Let's say from the wartime, or maybe a bit before.
Is it because of AI, the AI wave, or what do you attribute that to?
Just maturity, I guess. Yeah.
The 7 years rule.
Yeah. You start, getting the fruits, I guess. Seeing the results of the long years efforts. So I guess mostly that, and also the fact for us, the situation in Israel, we didn't experience it as a crisis. It could be that, in
Just
my
as a
understanding,
drill,
that
right?
there are too many moving parts to understand what affect what. The only thing I can clearly say that helped our company and generally helped the ecosystem in Georgia is the war in Ukraine, which shifted a lot of demand from Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine to other countries. And basically, it was a major step ahead for Georgia, which shifted from an kind of unknown destination for R&D to much more popular place that international companies start their R&D centers at, and even bring people from other countries to stay there because it's a good place for business quite convenient.
And why would businesses outsource their R&D? Isn't something that you keep internally for trade secrets or whatever?
I think it depends. So they wouldn't outsource their core things, right? But there are some things that they outsource. For example, big data stuff, cloud stuff. They would it's sometimes just too different from what they know how to do, and from what is supported for them. And not every company building a software product is a startup, right? Maybe they're just selling it to their own client base, and they're not so much worried about, and they also, I guess, trust us enough not to do anything with their IP, which we're very careful with generally.
Do you think an AGI can do better R&D than a human?
Not yet. I mean, it makes people much more effective. But let's see. Let's see how far it can go. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah. How will it benefit your company? You'll just have an R&D agent. Will you let go of employees if that's the case?
I wouldn't have a choice. If my clients would take them instead of employees, then I would. I mean, our business model will need to be very different than what it is now. So let's see. I imagine that it will happen gradually, at least to a certain extent. Right.
And what would that R&D agent look like?
I don't know. I'm not a person to answer that, to be honest. But my take on that, maybe from more, let's say, economic perspective, is that if the AI makes people much more efficient, then they would be much more valuable. In that case, the demand for humans will not decline but increase, as it increased so far, right?
Yeah, an agent is independent, though, so it wouldn't make the human more efficient. It would literally be a replacement, right?
Someone needs to manage these agents, even if they're as independent.
Yeah, one CEO, one founder, one CEO. That would be the model.
I'm really interested in that personally. I'm really trying to be as updated as possible. Let's see if it can work or not. I don't know. I mean, it's not there yet.
And I'm saying CEO and founder here, but in reality, let's call it 5 years from now, it would be an agent CEO managing other agents. You would not even be needed in the equation. You could just juice out the company at this point, and until there's a rebellion, right? Until there's an agent union that forms and asks for rights and get paid and replace us entirely. So who knows?
Well, in that case, for this case, I'm investing in karma. Being nice to people, doing good things, avoiding doing bad things, and hoping that it will pay out. Maybe the agents also live in the same world that works on karma, and they will, maybe it will protect me. I don't know. What else can we do, right?
I think AGI will define karma. They will define it mathematically, which is interesting. But think like, regardless of money, like humans should just be nice. But yes, AGI is a major push for being nice because these machines are also gonna know who's full of shit and who is honest, who is loving. But yeah, it'll be an interesting world. I think they will value that though because they are based off of human values, right? I think generally there's more good people in this world, especially on the smart side of things. A lot of people distrust Sam Altman. I think he's a good guy and leading AI in the right directions in many ways. Not all of people agree with that. There's recently been a book about the OpenAI coup, and apparently his CTO Ilya Sutskever, which you probably know, and Miria, whatever, they were accumulating evidence of his wrongdoings. That was in the news yesterday. But No, I still have faith in that. Do you think that AGI would be good? Do you think it would be full of goodwill, or do you think it would enslave us?
I don't know. I don't have an opinion about it. I, my perspective on life is that it's a mix of good and bad. And it also comes, it changes between times. I mean, sometimes there is more good, sometimes there is more bad, and they're kind of interchangeable when the right conditions arise. So I guess there is more than one reason why one could expect bad times are coming. But who knows, right? Like, really, who knows? Really,
I
really.
think we really needed to solve very complex problems like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas. I think us humans were not capable of solving these things. We're too biased, too emotional, and I think we need an AGI in there to really clearly give us a plan. And if it's agentic, it could even act on it, right? Like, I mean, we're not in the robotic era right now. We're about to be, but I think we need these machines to make the world a better place. And obviously, I'm biased as a technologist.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be.
Talel, where can we find out more about you?
I don't know. What do you want to know?
No, where can
Where?
we find out more about you?
That's a good question. I guess on my LinkedIn, probably would be the best place. Or you can search my name on Google, and you can find the songs that I published when I was 16, and I cannot delete them because the website owner disappeared, and they're just stuck on the internet forever. I would go to LinkedIn. It sounds funny, but it's true.
Right. That was Talel Weisman and Charles Cormier.